Welcome. You are about to listen to a calm English story for learning and relaxation. This story is designed for English learners at B1-B2 level. The main story is spoken at 0.9 speed, slightly slower than normal speech, to help you understand more easily. At the end, you will hear a short part of the story again. At normal speaking speed. Relax, listen, and enjoy the story.
It was a quiet, warm evening, unusual for the region where they lived. Usually, the wind never really stopped there, but that day, the air was still, not heavy, not tense, just calm. It was not late, yet parents and grandparents were already leading their children away from the large playground. Dinner waited, baths, the usual evening routines. The woman noticed this almost every time she walked through the park. She liked coming here in the evenings. She walked slowly, without any hurry, watching the playground as it slowly emptied. There were slides and climbing structures, a large pirate ship with ropes, and other constructions built for children to play. Now the games were ending. Parents and grandmothers sat on benches around the playground, calling children by name, asking them to come back, reminding them that it was time to go home. The voices were calm and familiar, a little tired, patient. The children reminded her of her grandchildren. They lived far away and could not visit often. She loved them deeply and missed them more than she usually allowed herself to think. She did not come to the park to remember this, but some thoughts arrived quietly, without asking. That evening felt especially gentle. The light was soft, almost golden. The air stayed warm. As the day slowly came to an end, she walked a little farther through the park and chose a bench near the path. She sat down, rested her hands on her lap, and took a slow breath. She was not in a hurry to leave. She simply let the evening pass. On that same calm evening, the young woman finished her work and stepped outside. Her day had been long, like most days. Usually, everything moved quickly. Work, messages, plans for tomorrow. There was always something waiting. But when she felt the warm, quiet air, she slowed down. She walked without any hurry, enjoying the rare calm of the evening, resting from the rush of the day. The park seemed to invite her to stay a little longer. When she noticed a bench, she decided to sit down, not because she was tired, but to prolong the quiet and peaceful feeling of the evening. Only after she sat down did she notice that a woman was already sitting at the other end of the bench. The park was slowly growing quieter. Small vendors were still there, the kind you usually see in places where people walk and tourists pass by, but they were already packing up. Boxes were being closed. Bags were folded. Movements became slower. A little farther away, across the path, a flower seller was also closing her stand. The woman sat on the bench, slightly lost in thought, looking ahead without any clear focus. Her gaze was directed toward the flower stand, and at some point it simply lingered, not on purpose, just noticing. She looked at the bouquet and said quietly, almost to herself, "I never thought I would see lilacs being sold." The young woman turned slightly toward her voice. For a moment, she was not sure if the words were meant for her. She simply looked at the woman, a silent question in her eyes. The woman noticed the look and added gently, "My husband used to bring me the first lilacs at the beginning of summer, very early in the morning, before I woke up." She smiled faintly. "He placed them on my pillow. I always woke up because of the smell." Lilacs were her favorite flowers. When they were in season, there were always lilacs in her home. The young woman listened in silence. Flowers had been part of her life too. Birthdays, graduations, moments meant to be celebrated, but they were always bought, wrapped, expected. Lilacs had never been part of it. After a short pause, she asked quietly, "Where did he get them?" "From wherever he could," the woman answered. "Old gardens, places people stopped noticing." She paused, then added, "When he brought the lilacs, we used to look for a flower with 5 petals. There are usually 4, she continued, "but sometimes, very rarely, you find one with 5. "And then?" the young woman asked. "And when we found one," the woman said, "we made a wish." "And then?" the young woman asked again. "You had to eat it," the woman replied. The young woman looked at her in surprise. "Ate it?" The woman smiled slightly and explained, "There is a belief. If you find a flower with 5 petals, you make a wish and eat it." She paused. They say that then the wish will surely come true. They sat quietly for a moment, letting the words settle. Then, almost at the same time, they both stood up. It was a good evening, the woman said, but I should be getting home. Yes, the young woman replied. Me too. It turned out they were going in the same direction. They walked together, slowly, talking as they went, about work, about life, about small everyday things. At the park entrance, they said goodbye. No phone numbers, no addresses, just a quiet wish for a pleasant evening. Life continued in its usual fast rhythm. The young woman did not suddenly change her life. Most days still passed quickly, but sometimes, when the weather was kind, she chose to walk through the park, to slow down, to breathe, to calm her thoughts. Winter came. One evening, after work, she stepped outside and stopped. The air was quiet. A light frost touched the ground. Small snowflakes fell slowly. It felt almost like a story. Without thinking too much, she walked through the park again. As she passed the bench, she remembered the woman and the lilacs. She smiled. When the lilacs bloom again, she thought, I will try to find a flower with 5 petals. Maybe this time, the wish will come true.
You have just listened to this story at a slower pace, 0.9 of normal speech. Now, you will hear a short part of the same story again. This time, it will be spoken at normal speed. Don't try to understand every word. Just listen, relax, and notice how familiar the language feels now.
And then, the young woman asked. And when we found one, the woman said, we made a wish. And then, the young woman asked again. You had to eat it, the woman replied. The young woman looked at her in surprise. Eat it. The woman smiled slightly and explained, there is a belief. If you find a flower with 5 petals, you make a wish and eat it. She paused. They say that then the wish will surely come true.
Thank you for listening. If this story felt calm and helpful, you are not alone. Many people learn English better through real, simple life moments. On this channel, we share calm listening stories about everyday situations. Work, conversations, small decisions, and real-life moments. These stories help you feel more confident when speaking English in real situations. Come back for the next story. We will continue learning, quietly, naturally, step by step.